I'll recap then.
Yeah,
Last week, dear viewers, if you weren't here, why not? Last week it was amazing. We returned from having had Congress with the Dragons, where we agreed to obtain certain concessions for the Dragons' assistance in the forthcoming struggle against the forces of Tiamat and the Cult of the Dragon. We had to regain some armor from the dwarves that was made from the body and bones and skin of one of the dragon's brethren, and that had to be returned. And the elves had to write a letter saying how terribly, terribly sorry they were for using dastardly magic against the dragons. And we persuaded them, the members of the council, that they should do this, and it was the right thing to do, and they agreed with us because Trump used impeccable diplomacy. I believe they may have said something on the sides, but it was basically Trump's impeccable diplomacy that got the message across.
It was
afterwards
good old-fashioned orcish diplomacy.
It was. We drew a few cards, I believe. Or was that afterwards? No, that was before, wasn't it? Or was it afterwards?
I think it was. I think it was before. No, it was after. It was after.
We played the cards right when we got back.
No.
Right after we returned from the Congress of Dragons, we returned, and whilst waiting in an inn with myself and Misty and Vay, because Wormfoot had gone back to sit in the bath full of warm water. We were sat there and we drew more cards from the excuse me. We drew more cards from the deck of many things, which proved to be somewhat disastrous for Miss Vay, who became a bit of a thickie, and then her soul got sucked out of her body.
Yeah, she did have the worst luck during that whole thing.
Absolutely. If there were bad cards to be drawn, she drew all of them. Anyway, so she had her soul sucked out of her body, and we were at a loss of what to do. We placed her in the bed so that she could rest, and Misty prevented from copping a feel of Vay's unconscious body. Even though a disembodied voice had whispered to him that should you return my soul, I will give you oral.
I heard it.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, then Shrump, realizing that things had gone awry, horribly awry, the party was tearing itself apart. One member of our party was completely incapacitated. The other one thinks he's an elf. Decided that he would use the powers that he had been given by the Deck of Many Things to commune with his parents to find out what the right thing was to do, was whether to save his friends or to return his parents to life. And his parents tried to sell him propane at one point, but he was confused by that. And then Trump decided that it would be the right thing to do would be to use his powers to make it so that the Deck of Many Things had never existed, wiping out vast tracts of memory and previous gameplay.
I liked it.
We are today, then we went to the meeting with the council. We got them to agree to the Dragon's concessions, and we are ready to move on. We did, I might add, did also meet an escapee from the Cult of the Dragon who claimed to be able to give us information. He did pass on various bits of useful information, all of which I've completely forgotten.
Xonthal was his name.
The end.
And that's where I'll help you out there at the end. Yeah, you guys found upon getting back to Waterdeep for this third council, you guys ran into a cultist, and he was actually one of the high-up cultists. His name was Xonthal, and this Xonthal...
I've gone deaf or I can't hear Dave.
Oh, yeah,
You've gone deaf.
I've totally forgot. I was talking, and I totally forgot to use push-to-talk like a dummy. This is my first day using TeamSpeak, everybody, so you have to pardon me. So this is where we'll pick up. You guys are, as you guys got back to Waterdeep for the third council after Narenvane and Chuff, and the Council of Metallic Dragons, you found, or this Xonthal found you. He was one of the escaped cultists, and he was actually a pretty high up ranking member of the cult, and he told you about that he and his he was one of the traditionalists, and the cult originally worshipped mainly Dracolich. And within the last several years, the cult has basically abandoned their old traditions, and now they are, worshiping basically the chromatic dragons, and one in particular, Tiamat. And they want to, yada yada yada. They want to resummon Tiamat from the, from the elemental chaos and the 9 levels of hell. And these traditionalists really don't like it. And so this Xonthal escaped. He wanted out of the cult. And his boss is still at this Jorgen Paul. He was also one of the high-up officials. He didn't want to leave the tower. And plus he was starting to sway with the new leader of the cult, which is Severin. They basically were in cahoots with one another. So these two individuals, the Xonthal and his boss Jorgen, they were in charge of studying this blue mask, the blue dragon mask. And of course, when you get all 5 colored masks together, you form the ultimate super duper party hat, and that's what you're going to use to rise Tiamat. Well, you're also going to need something else beside that helm too, and that is where Roth Modan comes on, which is an acquaintance of Tiberius from about a year ago. Not an acquaintance, but he actually had seen this Thayan, this red wizard from the lands far to the east, and he has been sent to help summon Tiamat, because the cultists don't have the power, they don't have the intellectual knowledge to perform the ritual. So this red wizard has come to the Sword Coast to help the cultists raise Tiamat. Now, as you guys had gotten information, you found out that this blue dragon mask is in Xonthal's tower. And Xonthal's tower is on the edge of Mount Hlyn. And I will go ahead and put you at Mount Hlyn. You guys are now in Waterdeep. I've shared the map. And here is Mount Hlyn here. Let's see, I'll share it one more time. I see worms in the game now. We'll sync it up. And there you go. That little mountain there, that's where Mount Hlyn's going to be. So it's not a massive travel. You can get there by a couple days from Waterdeep. You're going to have the Griffin Riders at your disposal. The Third Council went well. Also, you've been trying to sway the various organizations and high-ranking, possibly the masked lords of Waterdeep, probably, maybe sitting on this council, and other powerful members of the Sword Coast, such as King Melendrock, the king of the elves of the Misty Forest, and also the dwarves, which has an ambassador, Braun Anvil, on the council.
So Dave, what's that
Yes.
place just to the north and to the left? How do you pronounce that? In Najara.
Najara, yeah, it's
See-
right to the east of Najara. Yeah.
No, what's that place called?
Oh, Thar to Sun. Yeah, I'd say Thar to Sun. It's where the basically where the I think it's the Nagas are there, the Serpent people.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Naga, please.
Naga, please.
Jeez. All right. So you guys need to head to Mount Hlyn, go to the tower, and you know that this is a very, very mysterious place. There is a small town also that we'll get into the story of Xonthal's tower in just a second. Now, as for the factions, as I was talking about, you need to get all of them on board so they can give you all their resources. Well, so far, out of all of the organizations and the leaders there, which are a total of 10 that actually matter, 10 that are the most powerful influences of the Forgotten Realms, you've got 6 on your side. So you've done enough, and you now have Brawn Anvil and the dwarves are going to give you everything for your disposal. And this is a good thing, even though with the concessions that you agreed to give back the old ancient dwarvish champion armor that was made from several of the dragon, Elias, which is Otari, the ancient silver dragon, one of her ancestors. This armor was made out of one of her ancestors. So even with the concessions, the dwarves and Ambassador Brawn Anvil have decided to give you 100% of the help of the dwarves. You've also got Ulder Ravengard. He is a noble. He has a very large army. He is going to give you all his forces to use at your disposal. Also, Hornblade, you will have all of his forces. And last but not least, of course, you're going to have Serestival, the old retired Purple Knight / adventurer from Daggerford. He loved the way you guys had him at the first meeting, just by the way that he had conversations with you and whatnot. But you've definitely got enough faction with him now to where he's going to give you the Purple Dragon Knights and all the other forces from Daggerford. So you've got 4. You're getting pretty close. The Harpers, the Order of the Gauntlet, the Emerald Enclave. They're still not fully on board yet, but I'm sure you'll probably get there if everything goes according to plan, especially with this new Xonthal's Tower that they were actually not even aware of, and this Ixander and this blue dragon mask that's in the tower. They had no intelligence on this, no information, nothing at all. So this is, you guys are doing all of this on your own, which is not a bad thing. And time is running out, so they didn't want to send a large force to the tower. One, because it would have taken a lot of time to actually assemble it, get it there. So that's why you have the Griffin Riders at your disposal, and you guys are just going to go ahead and boom. All right, Worm, no problem at all. Take it easy, Worm. Have fun. And Lord, if you want to jump in. Can you play today, Lord?
I can if you want. Why?
Sure. If you want to play Tiberius, that'll be good. Worm's got to take off because of work. So.
Okay, give me a moment.
All right. If you got other stuff, it's no problem, man. We can go on
No,
about
just
it.
give me 1 moment
All right.
to load it all up.
All right. Sounds good.
Sorry
All right.
about that. My router decided to reboot.
No problem at all. All right. So other than that, I lost my train of thought now. I was on a roll. Man, what the hell was I? What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about. What was I talking about? Anybody? Oh my gosh, there's so much we need to talk about. Anyone?
What were you saying? You were talking about...
I don't know, that's what I'm asking you guys. Anybody listening? Anybody there?
No, I was listening. I just couldn't God. I was just like... All of a sudden all that happened, now it's kind of like just totally destroyed my train of thought as well.
Such a horrible DM.
You're talking about how the Harpers and things like that were not quite on our side yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of recapping who's with us and who isn't.
Yeah, you guys still have some other, King Melendrock, the elves. The elves really aren't too keen on, joining with the dragons, although, it's like Melendrock said during the council. He'll send the armies as long as the dragons, they go first and get in front of the elves, because the elves aren't going to die first. So, it's still a little bit of tension there with, a little bit of tension there with the elves and the dragons. All right,
so we're going in to look into this blue dragon mask.
Yeah, you guys.
See if we can get it from the tower.
Exactly. Yeah, that was intelligence that the council didn't have, so that's why you guys are going to take a look, and also towards the end, you guys met a new nightshade that was there, and this nightshade was with the Zentrum, and they were going to be receiving some information soon that could change everything. And they know that you're going to Xonthal's tower, so they will go ahead and make concessions to try to find you. They know where Xonthal's tower is. So, but if there's any kind of correspondence or messages that need to go there, they'll find you like they have before. So, all right. So there we go. We're all caught up. Sorry about that. And thanks, Sword, for joining.
So I just want to
No
make
problem.
sure that we have all our provisions and stuff with us before we go for this thing. I know for me, I have like 2 healing potions and that's it. So, but does if anybody else needs to stop and get anything before we leave?
I don't come off full.
Nah, I've got me sword, I've got my shield, I've got everything I need.
We arrived by a griffin, I guess.
Yep. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about or anything on the way to? And this Ixander, he is with you also.
Do
This
we have to
Ixander.
take him? I don't trust him.
Oh, he'll stay. He'll be more than happy to stay.
Do we really think we want to have him with us?
Why don't you trust him?
He
He's an orc.
used to work for. Is he?
No, you're an orc. That's why you don't trust him. He's
Am I?
human. Yeah, he's human.
Good lord.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
that's-
an extra hand. Shrump. What is he going to do? Steal? That's something from you? I don't believe he can. Is he going to harm you? I don't believe he can.
He might. I never thought of that. You're right. He might try and steal something. All right. All right.
It
Look,
would be impossible for you to do that.
do you think?
We always keep watch, and we'll all look out for each other.
That's true. That's true.
If anything, he has more to worry about us than we need to worry about him.
As usual, you put together a formidable argument.
Of course, your wisdom is great, Shrump.
Absolutely. I am known for my wisdom and my cunning. Alright, he can come with us, but I want to be able to see his hands all the time.
Okay, Dave, I'm in.
All right. Thanks, Sword.
And if he tries to steal anything or eat my brains, I'll kill him.
Alright, very good then.
I can dig it.
So how much are superior healing potions, Dave? I just want to make sure I subtract the right amount of money. Like 100?
No, they're more superior. Shit, no, they're more than that.
More of the greater ones.
Yeah, the superior ones are like the tier 3 potions. Hold on 1 second.
The silly man, I think they were 500 gold, weren't they?
Holy shit.
It was something ridiculous.
About 1 superior healing potion and 1 greater healing potion. So maybe.
Now I've got 1 superior and 3 greaters.
Yeah, I wanted to pick up
Yeah,
at least a couple.
They'd be 500 gold apiece because they are considered a rarity. You can find them. You can find them at the Adventurer's Vault. And
What about the graders?
Yeah.
Are they like 100? Are they the one or 250?
No. Let me open up my vault. Hold on. Let me open up my book again.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I'm not worried about it.
Oh, Misty.
Yes. Darling.
Nothing, I was just going to go, oh, Misty.
Ah.
Somebody has to do it. Tiberius isn't here. He's off getting his hair done or something.
Yeah, they're going to be uncommons are going to be about they're going to be about 250 gold. So uncommons
Alright,
will be
thanks.
250, rares will be 500, and commons will be 50.
Alright, got it. Thank you.
And you can find those pretty much at the Adventurer's Vault. There's only they only have 10 of the superiors. So the wizard, the alchemist on duty, they've only got 10 of those. He says, there's been quite a run on those lately. But they were distilled and enchanted within recent times.
Oh, that's okay. I'll just take a couple of the greater ones there. So I'm part with like 500 gold.
He kind of eyes you up and down and says, "Okay, you cheapo." Kind of under his
500
breath.
gold, yeah, ungrateful, old bastard.
Is your life worth it? And hey, listen here, you young fuddy-duddy. I'll tell you something. You call me an old bastard, I'll light you up with magic missile. Don't respect your elders, young lady.
Yeah, don't want to be messing with people what has got magic missiles because they really hurts.
Yeah, so does my assassinate.
Talk to me like that. Sadly
Come.
mistaken. Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt you, good half-orc.
Nah, that's all right. I was just thinking that after time her assassinates don't hit anything anyway. She misses.
I assassinate Trump.
Beat her to
Oh,
death.
calm down.
Maybe she should be worried about getting some oils to help her with her finesse.
I don't
Also,
need
some
anything.
oils to rub in.
Yes.
I've already got it under control, thank you.
I have to cast grease on her in the morning so she can get into her cat suit.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
So she can get into her cat suit.
Oh, but then you maybe need some catnip also.
Get me out of it? Is that your idea, Tiberius?
Anything
No,
else?
just
Anyone?
thinking.
Anything else? Anyone?
Good. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to use this
think
bag
we got
of
everything.
tricks.
All right, you guys go ahead and talk about anything else you want to talk to about on the 2-day trip to Xonthal as well. That's about a day and a half trip. You'll arrive the next day, probably in the probably say mid-afternoon, early afternoon, mid-afternoon, somewhere around there.
That sounds delightful. I think
We're good.
I'm good. I've got everything
Okay.
I need.
All right, so you guys will arrive at the village. I've already shown you what this looks like. Let me get this out one more time. I should have done this. I knew there was.
We're at the village next to it.
Yeah, you're at the village down at the base of this giant hedge maze. It looks like a massive maze that surrounds this tower.
Could use a
And
druid. Could use a druid now.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot to bring my shears. I was saying I should have brought my shears or my strimmer or something.
Fireballs.
Bushwhacker.
Exactly.
Trying to find this. This is not it. This is gonna be it. This will be it here. Xonthal's Tower. Where is that? Well, there it is. So unprepared. I prepped for 8 hours today. Starting at 8 o'clock this morning, I'm still so unprepared. Usually I put links like that into the, all of my notes, but I just didn't. I don't know why. There you go. There's the image of Xonthal's tower.
Module should have it.
No, it doesn't. I had to import it myself. So,
That's terrible.
yeah. So, square tower. You can see the village that's at the base of the mountain, and you know, to touch again on Xonthal's tower. Xonthal was a very powerful mage, and you know, he disappeared. He just, no one knows, but they do know this. The village was started by all of his apprentices that he had, you know, that were helping him and working for him, and as he was teaching them magic. Well, he kicked all of the apprentices out of the tower, locked the tower up, and no one ever seen him again. No one knows what happened to him. They don't know if he offed himself. No one knows what happened. But he surrounded this tower with this very, very, very dangerous maze, and it's like a hedge maze, as you can see. That basically encompasses surrounds the entire tower. And as you're, you know, flying up on the griffins, you can see that there is a beautiful large blue dragon that is kind of circling around the tower and then lands on the top of the tower.
Well, that's to be expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not fun. I don't like dragons.
Can be very dangerous.
Yeah. So the villagers are a little weary of you, and there is a small goods store, and there is sort of like a bed and breakfast, and it is called the Dancing Pony. Not the Prancing Pony, the Dancing Pony. And, you know, it just has several rooms, and it is sort of like a bed and breakfast. There's no tavern, which is kind of strange. No tavern and nothing like that. But the locals seem semi-friendly. I mean, they're a little wary of you. I mean, you are, you know, 4 strangers that, you know, strolled into town on, you know, griffins and whatnot, but...
Hello, good people. Fear not, for we are brave adventurers that's going to go into the tower
Oh my God,
and
a half-orc!
vanquish.
Everybody run for your lives! He's gonna eat our children! No, I'm just kidding.
Good grief.
I'm just kidding. They greet you, and you know, several of them. Some don't want anything to do with you, but you can definitely tell that they are a very intelligent people. All of them that you know speak with, and you know they're all in robes and whatnot. So, and some of them are carrying, some of them are carrying small books, probably spell books. Alora, Vey, you can tell that those are you know personal spell books. They aren't the massive spell books, but yeah, they probably are. You know, they're probably apprentices themselves. Probably they're cantrips. And but like I said, they're really intelligent people. And you know they kind of welcome you. Some of them welcome you. Some of them are talking to you. Some of them are kind of shying away. There's a temple that's dedicated to one of the deities. There's appears to be like I don't want to say a public library, but like it would be like a scrolling, like a palace that has a ton of books and scrolls, and you can kind of see inside. You know, big double door in the front, and you can see that there are a couple apprentices that are standing at this door, and they kind of walk in, and it is lit inside, and you can see that there's a table there, and you can see individuals seated there, and they have these big plume feather quills, and they're writing down at the table and whatnot.
I can't read.